Primary rainbow. The primary rainbow is the most common type. It forms when sunlight enters raindrops, bends as it slows down, reflects once inside the drop, and then bends again as it leaves. This separates white sunlight into different colors. Red appears on the outside of the arc, while violet appears on the inside. For a primary rainbow to be visible, the sun usually needs to be behind you and the rain in front of you. It is often easiest to see when the sun is low in the sky. Secondary rainbow. A secondary rainbow forms outside the primary rainbow. The light reflects twice inside each raindrop instead of once. This extra reflection makes the rainbow appear wider and dimmer. Its colors are also reversed, with red on the inside and violet on the outside. The sky between the two rainbows often looks darker, creating a noticeable band. Because it loses more light inside the raindrops, it is usually harder to see clearly. Double rainbow. A double rainbow is simply the appearance of both a primary and a secondary rainbow at the same time. The brighter inner arc is the primary rainbow, while the fainter outer arc is the secondary one. Because their light follows different paths inside the raindrops, their colors appear in opposite orders. Double rainbows are less common because the secondary rainbow is much dimmer and needs the right conditions to be seen clearly. When the rain and sunlight are in the right position, both arcs can appear together. Supernumerary rainbow. Supernumerary rainbows are extra faint bands that sometimes appear just inside a primary rainbow. They often look like soft stripes of green, pink, or purple. Unlike the main rainbow, these bands are caused by light waves interacting with each other. When light waves leaving nearby raindrops overlap, they can strengthen or weaken each other, creating these additional colors. They are usually easier to see when the raindrops are small and similar in size. Twinned rainbow. A twinned rainbow looks like two rainbows sharing part of the same base before separating into different arcs. It can happen when raindrops of different sizes are present in the same shower. Each group of drops produces a slightly different rainbow angle, causing the arcs to split apart. Although it may look like an ordinary double rainbow at first, the color order remains the same in both arcs. This makes it different from a normal double rainbow, where the outer rainbow has reversed colors. Reflection rainbow. A reflection rainbow forms when sunlight first reflects off a smooth surface of water before entering the raindrops. This creates an additional rainbow that appears higher in the sky than the normal primary rainbow. The reflected sunlight reaches the raindrops from a different angle, changing where the rainbow appears. Lakes and calm bodies of water can provide the reflective surface needed for this rare effect. It is a separate rainbow created by reflected sunlight, not the reflection of an existing rainbow. Reflected rainbow. A reflected rainbow is different from a reflection rainbow. Instead of sunlight taking a different path before forming the rainbow itself is reflected by water. You may see part of the real rainbow in the sky and another image of it on the surface below. Calm water creates the clearest reflection, making it seem as if the rainbow continues beneath the horizon. Rough or moving water can make the reflected rainbow appear broken or distorted. Moonbow. A moonbow forms in almost the same way as an ordinary rainbow, but it is created by moonlight instead of sunlight. Because moonlight is much weaker, moonbows are usually faint and difficult for human eyes to see in full color. They often appear nearly white, although cameras with longer exposures can reveal their colors. Bright moonlight and water droplets, often near waterfalls, provide some of the best conditions for seeing one. Because the conditions must be just right, moonbows are much rarer than ordinary rainbows. Fogbow. A fogbow forms when sunlight shines through very small water droplets in fog. These droplets are much smaller than normal raindrops, so the colors spread and overlap more strongly. As a result, a fogbow usually appears mostly white, with only faint hints of color near its edges. It is often wider and softer looking than a normal rainbow. Its pale appearance is why it is sometimes called a white rainbow. Red rainbow. A red rainbow can appear when the sun is very low in the sky, usually near sunrise or sunset. At these times, sunlight travels through more of Earth's atmosphere before reaching the rain. Much of the shorter blue and green light is scattered away, leaving more red and orange light to form the rainbow. The result can be a rainbow that appears unusually red or orange. Sometimes it can look almost entirely red across much of the arc. Monochrome rainbow. A monochrome rainbow appears to contain mainly one color. It is most often red and can form when the available sunlight is strongly dominated by red wavelengths. This usually happens when the sun is very low and much of the other colors have been scattered through the atmosphere. Even though the rainbow still forms through the same basic process, the limited light makes its usual range of colors difficult to see. The raindrops are normal. It is the unusual lighting that changes its appearance. Circumhorizontal arc. A circumhorizontal arc is often called a fire rainbow, although it is not actually a rainbow. It forms when sunlight passes through ice crystals and high, thin clouds. The crystals bend the light and spread it into bright colors that can look like a glowing rainbow stretched across the sky. Despite its colorful appearance, it forms through ice crystals rather than raindrops. The sun and ice crystals must be at the right angle for this effect to appear. Circumzenithal arc. A circumzenithal arc is another colorful effect that is often mistaken for a rainbow. It appears high in the sky as a curved band of bright colors. Sunlight enters flat, plate-shaped ice crystals and bends as it passes through them. The colors can be extremely vivid, sometimes appearing brighter than an ordinary rainbow, but the arc forms from ice in the clouds rather than falling rain. It often looks like an upside-down rainbow high above the observer.